we did in the first one was the whole road from the beginning of the level all the way to the end, and all the spots that you'll be landing on, the boost ramp, etc. So now we're going to deal with the height, the differences in you know, where the player lands and everything else. Around this turn, we're going to be pretty significantly lower, so we're going to drop that down, and then we'll deal with the transitions to that as we go. So say about to there. Gonna raise ever so slightly at a very nice and even rate the height along this curve. Now when you're doing curves, what you'll want to do later, which will make them really nice, is to go along the outside edge and pull that edge up just ever so slightly, and then taper it along the beginning and edge of it. And what that'll do is bank the curve inside to the you know, against the edge of the outside of the track, and just make it a lot nicer to drive into. Again, taking advantage of that third degree, third dimension that we have. But for right now, just dealing with the height, we're just going to move up ever so slightly. We'll even do it relative, and we'll just type in 15 each time. So up 15, up 15, not 185. So that takes care, not quite. This has to be a little smoother, this entrance here. So we're going to drop this down by 5, we'll say. And that way there's a slight decline as you're approaching the start of this whole curve. Unfortunately, the curve isn't quite even, so we're going to also have to go back, smooth it out a bit. So, like I'd said before, we're going to take the outside edge and just move it up by a couple units, probably 3. There to there, we'll move up by 3 units. Good. Clean everything up real quick. This Make Planar button will align all the edges and the verts on the face so that they form a flat plane. A lot of times things can get pretty misaligned when you're doing curves and things like that, especially on slopes. So going back through and making sure everything's straight, and then going back through again because you just unstraightened everything by straightening the one behind it. You can even see I'm doing it again going through. Doing it enough though, sometimes switching between faces. These, however, are not. So we'll select this, -10, and then -10 again, and get both of those. That's nice and even on both sides. It's just a little dip, but again, anything you can do to add some Z height, some variation, it really adds a lot to the level. This is where it flattens out. These all have to come down. Start an upward slope again from there. This little meadow is meant to be completely flat. There's not supposed to be any kind of Z height in this area. There's a nice little tree interwoven with a rock, some tall grass that you can drive through. Not a hill, so right here is where we'll mellow it out. Good. Relatively smooth. We'll go back over these later with the planar tool and make it all really smooth. That's good enough to get up to where we were headed. We take the boost ramp, land here somewhere, drive back around, good to go. One of the outer spots. And this is where you're really going to start noticing the design start to vary from what we started with and start to kind of take on some of its own. So I'm going to start with just the grass. It's not going to be grass, it's going to be dirt, but I'm going to start with just the dirt around the level, and then work out from there. Okay, there's our long approach, very uphill. There we go, perspective hopefully won't be as bad. Oh, that's pretty uphill. Yeah, that's a good trip. Now for this area, very interesting because we have this whole section here. We have this high grass. So I guess we're just going to extend right to there. This area is a little different because it's going to start to kind of open up as opposed to where the other ones were pretty tight. But we can kind of expand this a bit. Okay, so same kind of thing that we did before over there, just a little bit of a different method to it. So then the idea is we would take all these faces, we would push them up a clone by 5 units. I'm assuming 5 is the value. It might be 7, might be 10, and might be 3, I don't know. We push it up by so many units, and then we connect the edges together, and that gives us that nice bit of, high grass that we're able to drive through. We'll continue this up. We did today the heights, or this video rather, we did the heights, and we started doing all the outside edges and things of that nature. Pick up again, working more on the edges and building stuff out in the next one.